seen right here in Blender, this video. So this is really simple. I use some assets from Quixel Megascans, and I think you could find something similar on the internet, just if you search well. I'll just show you. Okay, so let's go to Sketchfab, for example, which is a pretty good resource. Or you can also use Blender Kit, but although I doubt if they'll have something like that. So you just wanna go to search 3D models and then search for something like Rubble. And yep, as I thought. So this is pretty good, and but not exactly what I'm looking for. So something, yeah, that is exactly what I was looking for. So something along the lines of that, or that looks fine. So there are a lot of options you can choose from, or maybe this, but this is paid. But there are also a lot of free ones. Look at this. Look at this. God damn. That's, yeah, you have a lot of options right here. So for Rubble and stuff. So you just download one of these assets, like a one that looks good to you, and something that probably has a pretty high polygon count, because most of the textures in the high poly would also be like high quality, so high res textures, it would look more realistic, generally speaking. And so let's just open Blender. So there it is. Yeah, so yeah, this is my file, don't mind the naming. So yeah, so this is the file, right? So there's nothing too special about it. So it's pretty simple. I took, let me just make this small. So I just took some assets. So let's start from this, right? So this is just some asset I found on Quixel Megascans. Use Photoscans as much as you can, because they are like real stuff, right? So they are obviously gonna look realistic, but all of them are not gonna. So like for example, even though it was like the Quixel Megascan stuff, I still had to tweak it a little bit to make it like in this node group. I had to tweak some of the settings to make it look exactly right. Like click on this and you will get the texture maps for it. And I just used some sort of color ramps and stuff, which I used to like dial in the actual stuff, right? So I tweak the textures, like the roughness map and stuff, the desired realism that I wanted. So the next one would be this ball. This was separate model. So this was a separate ball model that I found, and I don't know where this is from. Probably from Quixel, Megascans, or Polyhaven, which using sculpting just modified a little bit. So that looks old and stuff, and tweaked like the textures also a little bit. And that is the main stuff that we can see, right? So like the magic occurs in the camera. Is that right? So if you take a look at the camera, you can see like I have it rendered using the EV, which has gotten so good at looking realistic, man. Like EV is so much faster and like pretty like up there with Cycle, Cycles is a little bit more realistic, not gonna lie, but it's not worth it for the render times, right? And managed to render it pretty quick, which I would say is pretty cool. So what I did with the camera is mainly I just made here. So if you don't have this already, use this camera Shakeify add-on, which is made by Ian Hubert. It's free, so you have nothing to lose. So download it and use it. It's really good. I just turned the influence to 0, so now the add-on is not affecting the animation. Now just watch. This is the animation that it was before, right? So now I'm just gonna put the influence to 1, like dial it up. Now look at the effects that it makes, the difference. Look at that, right? It looks so much more realistic. It looks like a person is holding like this camera in his hand or something, which is exactly the kind of look I was going for here. And there are a lot of presets as well. Okay, so there's like investigation, the close up, the bedding, walk to the store, handy camera, and etc. So this is really handy. So just download it if you haven't already. I have been using it for a long time actually, so I'm a big fan. Also, turned on depth of field and added an empty object, which you know is just an empty object, obviously. So if I just select the object and scale it up, sorry, yeah, here it is. Yeah. So if I just select the empty object, you can see this is the empty object. I hope you can see that. So yeah, after the 80th frame, it just jumps. Like I have said like I have added a keyframe at the 80th frame so that the empty comes onto the ball so that the focus slightly or it's in a subtle manner shifts onto the ball. Uh, yeah, like autofocus or something. You get the point. And I have just selected both the keyframes and then clicked on T to change the keyframe interpolation mode to constant, which is gonna like not add any interpolation between them. It's going to be instant. And when you're using it, make sure to check this ray tracing option. So look, if I just disable it, it looks way bad, like way less realistic. So just enable it and let it do its job. It's not gonna eat up a lot of um memory or anything. It's pretty good, actually. Look at that. Look at the difference it makes. So this is with ray tracing, and this is without. And by the way, the background is just an HDRI, and this is all gonna be blurred, so no one's gonna see that like clearly. So there's no need to use a high quality one. This is just something I found on HDRI Haven, or now called Polyhaven. And this just goes to show like how much of stuff you can make even as being a beginner, right? I'm not a beginner, but this is something I made in like 10 to 15 minutes or half an hour, I would say, right? In half an hour, just I just made this. Look at that. Think about that, right? So I can just now put it into DaVinci Resolve, add some subtle effects, or just yeah, I have actually added some compositing as well, just some lens distortion with no distortion actually, just dispersion. And what this does is it just adds like this subtle chromatic aberration in the background here, and also this parts and this parts. I don't know if you can see that because of YouTube's compression. Wanted to tell kind of some kind of story, maybe like someone's lost ball in a rubble in a demolished kind of a post-apocalyptic space. I don't know, some kind of vibe like that, but turned out to be like this, which is fine. I actually like imagined a little more of a moody atmosphere, but I think this looks way better than what I imagined. So I think I'm pretty happy with this. So hope I have inspired someone to create something, download some assets, put it together, make some shit. You know what I'm talking about, right?